I'd like to lose a few pounds, but I don't want to exercise more. I already lift weights 5 days a week and I go walking every single day. I just went on a hike today. I don't want to eat less. I've done water fasting, which is very effective, but I like to eat. I don't want to starve myself. I eat a plant based diet. I can't stand swallowing pills. I don't want to count carbs. I don't want to track my calories. I don't want to eat more protein. So, what do, right? But Dr. Michael Gregor has a book and it's titled How Not to Diet. And in this book, he has all sorts of ideas on what you can do to lose weight without making the sacrifices like starvation and exercising more. I didn't do all of his suggestions, I just did the ones I wanted. For instance, adding some spices, adding certain foods, and some other tricks. So let me show you what I did, and I'll let you know what my results are at the end of 6 weeks, and that will be at the end. But let's go through this journey together. So every single morning, I eat my favorite breakfast, which is a fruit smoothie. And his little hack, his trick, is to eat your smoothie with a spoon, a small spoon, and take your time. It take at least 20 minutes to consume your smoothie. So to make it easier, I put it in a bowl and I've got my timer going. And at first I thought it was going to be really hard to do, but it wasn't. So when I make my smoothie, I have a few bites and then I stick it in the freezer and then I clean the Vitamix pitcher, and that's already a couple minutes. And then I do my workout, and every set or so, I take another couple of sips of my smoothie, and I easily go over 20 minutes. So it really wasn't that hard. For lunch, I feel best when I eat a salad. To my salad, I add all these different spices. 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, and I really do like these ground flax seeds. I think they're delicious. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, level. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. The cumin is used in a lot of Mexican food. It's a very earthy spice and it's very strong. I really don't like using a lot of cumin. I just find it overpowering. So this is my least favorite spice in all of these recommendations that he has for fat loss. Next up is ginger. This is just a 1/4 teaspoon, so not too much. So I'm going to do half of the half, which makes a 1/4. And when I put all these together, I can't taste the ginger, because ginger is also another spice that can be very overpowering and strong. And then I also use, now this is not one of his recommendations, but this is Amla and Amla green tea, and they have other flavors as well. I'll put the video that I made on the benefits of Amla and the different flavors and how it benefited me on the end screen. So it's not on his list, but he is a fan of Amla. All right, so it's just one of our, oops, it's kind of a lot. Well, anyways, I'll just use this tiny little scoop, and then I'll add that to my mix to make it even more nutritious. He does not say that oregano is an herb for weight loss, but I like it, and it's healthy, so I'm just gonna add it, because I'm gonna dump all this on my salad. Next up is garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon. This is really strong, so I don't want to overdo it. And another favorite of mine that he recommends for his weight loss tricks is nutritional yeast. And that sounds super gross, but it's really tasty. And I use more than he recommends. So he recommends 2 level teaspoons. 2 level teaspoons. And I like to make them nice and full. So this tastes like it's a little bit of a cheesy flavor. And then to make it even more cheesy, which he probably would not recommend, it's just a little bit of salt. And that sounds like a lot. It's not. I'm an athlete. I sweat. I need some salt. Okay, he did not recommend black pepper for weight loss, but the black pepper has all sorts of antimicrobial properties, and it will amp up the benefits of the turmeric, which I forgot to add. I'm going to add that next. Freshly ground. Let's get the turmeric. Turmeric is another very strong spice, but only a quarter teaspoon, and I cannot taste it when I put all of these together. So I'm just mixing them together to make sure there's not one ingredient that is overpowering than the others. And then since I've added the salt, what it will taste like is just a little bit of a salty, cheesy crunch. And then I'm going to dump this right on top of my salad, all over evenly. And then I've got apple to make it sweet. I've got the crunchy carrot, and I've got red bell pepper. And all of these ingredients are on his daily dozen. So the apple is the other fruit, carrot is other vegetables, and then I've got kale, which is your leafy green. I've got green cabbage. So I have all sorts of really healthy ingredients, good for gut health. And then he does recommend vinegar, but he does not recommend balsamic. And he didn't specify what type, but I love balsamic vinegar. So I'm just using this for taste, not really for health, and definitely not for weight loss. So just to make my salad just a little bit yummier. And he does recommend 2 teaspoons of a clear vinegar, like apple cider or rice vinegar. So 2 teaspoons before meals 3 times a day. Now, I don't like vinegar that the clear vinegars if it's just going to be on my salad, unless it's got a bunch of other ingredients in it, like super fatty, like peanut butter or something like that. So, and I've also tried the trick where you add the vinegar to your water, and even if I've done just a small amount, like less than a teaspoon, in 16 ounces of water, I've drank the whole thing and it burned my throat, even with that much water. So if you have a trick to make the clear vinegars taste good without fat, because I need to keep my fats low to keep my cholesterol level down. Some people just need to have very, very low fat because their body just creates cholesterol when they eat fatty foods, even if they're healthy foods like the flax seeds, or even avocado or nuts or other seeds. So I'm one of those people where I have to keep my fats very, very low. So that is the mix, and I actually really like this. And then I add beans on top. I usually add chickpeas, and that will check mark off another one of the healthy foods of Dr. Gregor's Daily Dozen. So this is what I eat every single day for lunch. Dr. Gregor recommends eating your meals undisturbed without distractions. But if I'm not entertained when I'm eating a meal, especially like a big salad, I'm bored and I don't like it, and I just want to scarf down my food. So for me, I find that I eat slower and more bites and better digestion if I'm either watching TV or reading a book while I'm eating a salad, and that way I can take my time. So everyone's different. Just do what works best for you. Dr. Gregor says that 45 minutes of sunshine every day helps to lose weight. And I go for a walk every single day, so going out in the sun, I just make sure to extend my walk for 45 minutes if I'm going for 30 minutes, or I just stay in the sun a little while longer. Another trick he has is to weigh yourself in the morning before you eat anything and before you go to bed at night. So I've been weighing myself in the morning for many years. And I know people who refuse to look at the scale. So that's probably some sort of mental trick where if you keep seeing the scale go up, maybe you'll tend to eat less. Some people decide just not to look at the scale and they throw out the scale altogether. But the one thing I have been so bad at is checking the scale at night. And I think that's where the mental issue comes in. Because at night, the scale's going to be higher than in the morning. And it varies. I've noticed that my weight on the scale at night is between 3 and 5 pounds more than the morning. So that's, of course, the food and the water that I've drank. This hack will probably be extremely beneficial to most people. For me, not so much. It's to fast after 7 p.m. So don't eat after 7 p.m. at night. And I eat pretty early. I try to eat around 5:30. So I just try to make conscious effort to stop at 7 p.m. at night and not eat again until early in the next morning. And in addition, he says sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night will help you lose weight. And that's easy for me because I love to sleep and I typically eat. I sleep between 7 to 8 hours a night. I've been doing all these tricks, these hacks for 6 weeks now. And did I lose weight? You want to know? I did. Was I really good? Did I follow all the tricks to a T? Most of them. The ones that I was not so good at, that I didn't comply to all the time. Well, the one I barely ever complied with was the weighing myself at night. I just kept forgetting. But everything else was good. I ate after 7 p.m., maybe 3 or 4 times. But other than that, yeah, I followed everything else 100%. And I ate a plant-based diet. So I lost a half a pound. But I know it was pure fat because I can tell. So for a lot of people, they're thinking, half a pound, that is not worth it. But these are really easy tricks. And I just wonder if I continue with these things that I find pretty easy for me, if I keep doing them, they're going to be more part of my schedule, right? The more you do it, the more it becomes easy and customary. Would I continue losing a half a pound every 6 to 8 weeks? Because if that's the case, that would be a couple pounds at the end of the year by not doing much more. So to me, that's worth it. I also think these are very healthy hacks. So I am going to continue with it and I'll put these hacks, what I did, in the description below. And check out his book. It's a really fun read. It's really interesting. You can download for free Dr. Michael Gregor's Daily Dozen, and it has the weight loss tips in there too. So it's kind of a neat little app. It's easy to download, it's easy to use, and then every day you can just tap and check off the foods that you eat to make sure that you didn't forget anything. So that's super easy too. If you want healthy recipes that are low fat, delicious, and will help you lose weight, I got you. I have the most delicious recipes in my book, The High Five Diet. It talks about my weight loss journey, all my struggles and medical problems that I resolved by eating differently. I was exercising a ton. So exercise is great, but it's not nearly enough. It's what you put on this thing. Check it out at thehighfivediet.com. And let me know if you have any questions.